You already know what to do. You've known for a while, actually. So why do you keep not doing it? Or worse, start and blow it up right when it's working? Like, you're not lazy, you're not broken. You're protecting something. Let me show you what you're protecting. Now, this is one that took me a long time to figure out. Once I did, though, change my life. See, it's a protection mechanism. So you undermine the thing because succeeding would threaten an identity you're actually comfortable inside, or expose you to a verdict you'd rather not get. And in my life, I found this kind of a dance of how I've done this, and I didn't even know it was going on for a long time. But when you've set a certain point for it's possible, anything outside of that, even though you want it, feels uncomfortable to pursue. Like, genuinely, if you say, hey, I want to make $1 million, but you don't identify or see yourself as a person that makes $1 million, what happens is that when you get to that point of trying things or what may be required to accomplish that, your body starts to have this tension inside. There's like this actual kind of pausing and this navigation of inside feelings and stuff you're not used to having a feeling of. And so you don't know what to do with it. It's an interesting thing. It's actually what we call the comfort zone. See, the comfort zone is actually a place that you don't want to be, but you feel comfortable there. You want to be beyond the comfort zone, but you don't know how to step out of the comfort zone. Because stepping out of it feels uncomfortable, not because it's something that's like a task you don't like to do. You don't feel like the kind of person who does that thing. See, staying small is safe. Like, I could have, if I really tried, is language people use. It's a warmer place to live than trying and finding out. I'm going to say this again because I think sometimes we lose sight of this. There's an internal voice for us that goes, well, I want to do that thing. And you'll tell people, well, I could have done it if I'd really tried, but you didn't actually try. And you'll give that in language. You'll protect that language. But the thing is, it's easier to do that. It's easier to live in a place of trying than actually doing something and finding out what could really happen. I know for me, I lived this life where I was trying to kind of say the words of, I want to be great at this and great at this, but I would find myself not actually living into that, because what happens is I would move towards it. And if I did do this thing and I gave all my soul to it and I stumbled and I faltered and I failed, it'd feel worse. So most people, out of fear of that experience, that feeling, they don't do anything. They sit still, they find ways to play small, and they have no idea what to do. The thing is, every time sabotage is a part of your process, like it pays you something. That payment is staying safe, staying the victim, dodging the test. It's honestly this thing where you find the hidden payoff, but the truth is the hidden payoff sucks. Like you find the hidden payoff of not doing things at high levels. But here's the thing, though. If you find the hidden payoff and you find the lever to make it move, you can actually change your life. But this hidden lever is right inside the work you're already doing or you're actually avoiding doing. So I'm going to talk to you about what you have to do to actually change this process. Because if you first understand what I'm talking about, which hopefully you get at this point, there's this thing that you can actually do to adjust this. And I'm going to tell you right now, the way to actually break free of this pattern, break free of this confining space and get what you want most is to take an action to break free. I call it butt puckering discomfort. It makes your body tense up. The thought of doing something you're not used to doing makes your kind of heart palpitate. You don't know what to do because you haven't done it before. The truth is that the fix is it's making something happen beyond what your consciousness perceives as real for you. You have to make this payoff conscious. It has to be an out loud thing. You have to say what you want and then live into it. You have to choose the harder identity on purpose. When I say choose a harder identity is what I mean by that. You have a life you desire. You also have a life you don't desire. Your current life you're living potentially. This life you're living right now you don't desire has certain habits and patterns and traits, and it's living in a specific identity. That life you have is because of how you identify. When you look in the mirror, you see yourself as a person that can do X and can do Y and can do Z, but can't do X, can't do Y, can't do Z at the exact same time simultaneously. So if I have this simultaneous dance of, I believe I can do this, I don't believe I can do that. But what happens when you step into your day-to-day without even thinking about it, you do things to stay in that alignment with who you are. But you oftentimes don't realize that staying in alignment's the biggest problem you have with getting what you want most. Now, you do know you got to do different things, have different habits. It's not how it works, though. Just having the desire for it just comes to your life. You have to change the way you do things. What I've come to find is like you have to actually step into life with this simple beginning understanding of I'm going to be asked to do something for my dream that is not who I am right now. There's this expansion of my capacity as a human that's required to get to this next tier. And by expansion of capacity, I mean, what can you handle? Can you handle hard conversations? Can you handle losing money? Can you handle somebody hating you? Can you handle somebody loving you too much? Can you handle more money? Can you handle less money? Can you handle being sick, tired? Can you handle the stress and the rigors of leadership and being a person responsible for something bigger than yourself? Like these are things that if you don't have the capacity to handle them, you shut down. We're in this epidemic of mental health. Our mental health is falling apart. I don't know if mental health is the actual biggest problem that people see it as. What I actually think is a lot of individuals haven't built the mental strength to handle the life they say they want. They pursue it and they get out there and go, I can't swim in this deep of water. Let me call it a mental health issue. Because the truth is there's deep waters in the world you want to live in. The deep waters there's sharks swimming in that right now. And if you don't prepare yourself to swim in those levels, you step into that thing, you're going to drown. And it's easy to call it a mental health issue. Well, yeah, because your mind hasn't taken on this load before. So your health mentally is declining. You can't handle the strength, the weight of it. You're not strong enough to do so, to find a way to dance around this. Now, for me, I know that this was a real bad thing for me when I came out of the NFL. I got done with the NFL. I came home, had a green kinesiology, opened a gym, figured I'd be great at this gym business, right? Problem is I'd never had a gym membership. I'd never even owned any kind of anything business-wise. And I didn't know how to do things properly. But I knew I wanted to do more. So I would ask around, what do I do? And the things that I was told to do, I was informed to do, I wouldn't do. Or I would get really close to doing them and I would fall away to fall back to what was normal to me. And when I say this, I mean, I'd be told to, hey, write this thing for marketing, go out and knock on these doors, call these people that are strangers, just cold call them, offer this thing, make this ask, to do things that were outside of what I'd ever done before. But people that had the success I wanted were already doing it. And I would battle it inside, try to find ways to avoid it, try to find ways and not have it be so difficult. And I would just avoid the thing. And then what happens is in the avoidance of the thing, I actually kept myself away from what I wanted most. It wasn't until I stepped into a role of going, I'm going to do all these things as if it's almost not me. Like I'm going to activate a version of Anthony that I've not seen before, that I know it's floating in the background. But if I can lean into this guy, then maybe that person can be built in the background. So I'd do the things and it still felt uncomfortable. I'd do the thing and I still felt uncomfortable. Then I'd do the thing again. It felt a little more comfortable. I'd do it again. A little more comfortable. I do it again and again, and eventually to the point where there was no discomfort. In fact, it felt so normal to do it that I felt weird if I didn't do the thing. What initially started as being something out of my comfort zone, out of my normalcy, eventually became the thing that is me, who I am. And I find that it's a matter of simply stepping into it to get unstuck. Most folks say, I'm stuck here. I'm stuck at this level of income. I'm stuck at this level of success. I'm stuck at this level of whatever health, right? You're never stuck at that level. Here's a way that I've been told this, and this is a metaphor that may tie to you in some space. But somebody says, imagine you're in phenomenal shape, six-pack abs. You fought for 3 years to get that body you want. And all of a sudden, you wake up from a coma, and you're an extra 50 pounds heavier, body fat. You don't even feel good. Like you look in the mirror, you're disgusted at yourself because you know how hard you worked to get to that six-pack abs. How fast would you find yourself carving off just every calorie, working out like crazy to get back to what you believed yourself to be? Six-pack abs dialed in. You'd go crazy fast. But imagine if you didn't identify as that. You'd be fine with it. You'd stay at 50, maybe gain 50 more in time because you didn't identify as it. But when it becomes who you are, when it's the core of you, you actually stop self-sabotaging. You move into the space of what you believe you desire and deserve. But the way you get to that point of believing you deserve something is you have to first earn it. And you first earn it by taking steps in directions that are beyond any comfort zone you've been in. This is one of these logical things that people can hear with words, but don't do with their actions. Because it sounds good sitting here, just me and you like this, private little space, nobody's listening to us, just two of you. And we're just having a little conversation, right? And it feels good in this moment with no pressure, with no stakes, nothing on the line, to just make a commitment. I'm going to do it. You know when it's hard? When it matters. 5 a.m, 10 o'clock at night, lunchtime. Did you get the walking steps in? Did you eat the food or not eat the food? Did you get the lift? Did you recover? Did you make the ask? Make the call? Close the deal? Serve that deal? These little things that we're talking about, they're not small things. It's a matter of, did you do it on the time in the day you did not want to do it? Your soul was crying at the thought of having to do it. Did you get it done? Feels good to say, yes, I'll do it in comfort, but can you still say yes when you're in discomfort? Can you still stick to the plan when you have to? Because what happens is that moment there I'm talking about, when you don't do it, you know. When you don't step in, when you don't show up, you know. So it's easier next time to let yourself down, and the next time, and eventually you start going, yep, that's who I am. I'm not that person that has that thing. Flip the script, though. Say you get it done. Feel good about yourself. The next time it shows back up on your doorstep, same emotional feeling. What do? I do it again. I feel good again. And again, you do it again. And again, you do it again. And after a while, you do it so consistently, it doesn't make sense to not do it because you've done it so well, so consistently. I didn't say good, you did it consistently, but you did get better. The more you do so, the more efficient you get, the more effective you get, the better it dials you in. And so what ends up happening is now you wake up one day and it's just who you are to do the thing that moves the needle in ways other people are still trying to figure out how to get started. You do it daily without question. And you do 5 things just like that. So yeah, now the game changes. Your life unfolds differently. You get to have new things, experience new stuff. So I want you to stop whatever you're doing in your life and take one question internally and go, where in the hell am I getting in my own way? Where am I honestly getting in my own way? Because if you don't honestly own where you're getting in your own way, you'll be stuck there forever. This is the hard part for many people. They want to go ask somebody else to point something out. You know, your heart knows. You may not want to own it. It may be something somebody pointed out to you. And by saying that this is what it is, makes them right. Let them be right. If it helps you get right, but own that thing. Step into it and start taking action in the direction of that. Give yourself permission to improve. Because if you can name that one thing that'll help you get unstuck and start doing that thing every single day, then every single progressive week and then month, all of a sudden, it becomes easy to have success. It's not some, I don't know, crazy esoteric thing that maybe you'll make that $1 million or get the guy or girl of your dreams or build the business or leave the job or whatever it might be, get the promotion. These are not far-fetched things. Somebody's living them, which means you can live them, but not as you are. I believe that if you can shift your identity, you can change your life. But that shifting of an identity means you elevate up to do things that aren't who you currently are until they eventually are who you currently are. If you want to know how to start this process, there's a link below. Take the assessment called the Dark Work Assessment. It'll help you surface the patterns that are in the background, running, keeping you stuck. And if you can take control of those actions to change those patterns, you can genuinely change your life. Hit that link below.